Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you on today, which is Monday, June 30th, 2025. It's the last Monday, incidentally, of June 2025. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. As you know, we just kicked off a brand new master topic just a couple days ago. That was on Saturday, Walking Forward with Purpose. And so our granular today, in case you want to know, is remembering past victories gives us strength for today. Series 4, show 27, and we're on episode number 3. So welcome. Hey guys, if you haven't checked out believemeachieve.com, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and check that out as soon as this show is over. You can do it 24 hours a day. You can get replays of existing podcasts. You can watch other short form content that I have. You can read newsletters, articles, etc. There's so much stuff, even my short form content. And if you're thirsty, well, head on over to your kitchen. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go grab myself a thing of water, my RO water right here. And so why don't you do that and head on back to the show if you haven't. Definitely a great thing to do. I don't want you to be famished while you're getting some great knowledge downloaded to you. And welcome, everyone. If you are new here, welcome for the first time. If you're coming back, well, welcome back. It's always great to have friends, colleagues, and associates that enjoy the content. To another inspiring, amazing episode of Inspirations for Your Life podcast. I am your host, podcast coach, serial entrepreneur, engineer, video producer, and a lot more, John C. Morley. And of course, you know me as a passionate believer in the power of reflection and creation. And today, we're diving into a message that both is timely and timeless. Remembering past victories gives us strength for today, whether you're facing obstacles, striving toward new goals, or simply trying to stay motivated. Looking back at the wins you've earned can ignite the courage, confidence, and resilience you need right now in your life. Let's explore together how your past triumphs can shape and strengthen your past journey. Number 1, reflection on past wins will boost confidence. When we take time to reflect, guys, on our past wins, well, it acts as a powerful reminder to us, and I think that's important, of our capabilities. And so each success, no matter how big or small, becomes a deposit in our bank of, well, I'm going to call it a bank of confidence is our best way to probably think about it, our bank of confidence. And our bank of confidence is something that we don't often think about that often, but it's important to think about because confidence is what makes us basically go to the next level in life. I think that's a very important thing. So no matter how big or small, again, it becomes that deposit. And these moments tell us you've done this before. You can do it again in the midst of uncertainty or doubt. Looking back at what we've already accomplished gives us a sense of certainty that propels us forward. Number 2, success reminds us of, well, what we're capable of. Past successes aren't just trophies to admire. They are proof of the talent, skills, and perseverance we hold deeply inside us. They remind us of the grit we've all gone through, that we've shown, and the challenges we've overcome. These reflections help us approach today's task with the mindset that we have, well, what it takes, because we've already demonstrated it in the past, and we can do it again in the future. Number 3, victories fuel resilience during challenges. When life throws, well, its curveballs or a bunch of lemons at us, it's our memories of overcoming the past struggles that help us bounce back and turn those lemons into lemonade. Victories become a well of strength, encouraging us to keep going, even when things get tough. They show us that we can weather any storm and emerge stronger, making resilience not just possible, guys, but inevitable. And I think when we keep at something, our beliefs, our thoughts eventually will become reality, not overnight, but, what we persist will show up in our life. Number 4, past achievements inspire present courage. Courage isn't something we find outside of ourselves, it's something we summon from within. Looking back at our achievements gives us a push we need to face, well, new fears and some uncertainties or challenges. Every milestone reached is a whisper that says, hey, you've been brave before. You can be brave again. So go ahead and do that. Yes. Number 5, memory of triumphs reinforces self belief. Self belief can waver in difficult moments, but remembering times when we triumph strengthens it. Each victory feeds that inner voice that tells us, hey, we're enough, we're strong, and we're capable. It helps silence doubt and amplifies faith in ourselves. So why not give that a try? Number 6, wins provide proof that obstacles can be overcome. Challenges can feel, well, overwhelming, but our past wins provide that solid proof that no obstacle is insurmountable. When we reflect on how we conquered difficulties before, it helps us see today's hurdles as, well, opportunities rather than barriers that are in our way. We're reminded that persistence pays off, so keep persisting. What you persist will show up within your life. Number 7, celebrating past success. It recharges our motivation. Acknowledging and celebrating our wins isn't about dwelling on the past, guys. It's about recharging our inner drive. Each celebration sparks renewed energy and passion for what comes next. It keeps our motivation, well, alive and pushes us to set and achieve bigger goals. So I think that's important. Sometimes, we go for a goal like, oh my gosh, I can't do this one. So start with a smaller goal first, right? Start with that smaller goal, and that smaller goal will actually give you the courage to do the much larger goal. Victories, number 8, serve as a foundation for future growth. Every win lays a brick in what we'll say is a strong, solid foundation of who we are becoming, our character, right? Our victories shape our path, offering lessons, confidence, and some momentum that fuel future success. See, reflection on these wins helps us build on solid ground, making the next steps, well, stronger and more intentional. Number 9, achievements remind us of tools we already have. When we remember what we've achieved, we also remember the strengths, the strategies, and the resources we used to get there. And I think that's really important. It's actually priceless. This soul reflection reconnects us with those tools so we can apply them to today's challenges or tomorrow's with purpose and precision. And that's what's going to get us through. That's what's going to motivate us. That's what's going to take us to the next level. Number 10, past success stories guide our current mindset. Our mindset today is shaped by the stories we tell ourselves about yesterday. By focusing on our success stories, we feed our minds with positivity, determination, and hope. Yes, hope. Hope, guys, is the really priceless fuel that keeps us going every day. These stories guide our choices, our attitudes, our willingness, and keep us pushing forward. It helps shape who we are, our core values, our character. It builds our resilience, and most importantly, it keeps us on track because, we all fall off track, don't we? So if we can learn how to keep the train on the track or, the car on the road, this is the difference between us and other people. Everyone tries to get on the road, but sometimes people get off, or sometimes people take a boat and they get out of the channel. The channel is basically the roadway of the water. And so you have to know things like red, right, return, right? And so if you don't understand these things, well, you can get yourself in a sand barge. But in life, when you understand these things, you can become, well, more frustrated. And then it's like you want to give up. And I don't want anybody here to ever give up, but I know that sometimes it can become overwhelming. I've had it happen to me too. It's in these moments that we need to ask for grace, that we need to be grateful for who we are from our Creator, that we need to be really thankful for things like my RO water, roof over my head, being able to broadcast live to you guys. And I know these sound like simple things. Even the ability to just sit in a chair and to be able to talk or to be able to eat. See, it's when we become grateful for the smallest and littlest things that more things in our life show up that we can become grateful for. I think that's really one of the most important things. And here's the part of the show that I really love. I'm going to give you basically a personal, let's say, lesson or story for each point. And it's my hope that it will help solidify you. It will help ground you into the person that I know that you want to become. But sometimes you might be scared about becoming that person because, it's difficult. It's challenging. I won't say it's painful, but it's uncomfortable. And folks, let me break this down to you. You have to practice getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I know that sounds like something nobody wants to hear, but you see, success really lies in discomfort. It lies in where we push that envelope just a little bit further than we did before. You might say, John, well, what's that going to do for me? Well, each time we stretch that envelope, each time we push it just a little further, you know what happens? We gain more confidence. We build more resilience. And with that, well, we change who we are. We change who the world sees that we are. And you know what that does? That opens up more possibilities, more opportunities for us to actually thrive in this world. Because sometimes, that opportunity is out there, but we may not be ready for it yet. What do I mean by that? Well, we may not have all the tools, right? In school, they have something called prerequisites, right? You can't go take certain classes unless you've fulfilled certain prerequisites. In, let's say, high school, you have to take certain math classes before you could take other math classes. That's basically how it works. Number one, first lesson is reflection on past wins. It boosts confidence. Years ago, when I was just starting my first business, I hit a moment where everything seemed uncertain. My resources were limited, clients were few, and my confidence began to falter. But one night, I opened an old journal and saw a list of goals I had set and accomplished back in college, some of which I thought were impossible at the time. It was in that quiet moment I had to myself of reflection that I realized how many times I had already proven myself and even I had always given myself credit for. The reflection fueled me with renewed energy. I remember the time I ran a successful fundraiser with a zero budget, or the way I landed my first client just by boldly walking into their office. I still remember that to this day. These memories were just feel-good moments. They became fuel. Every win I remembered added a brick to my confidence wall, to my castle of confidence, reminding me that if I could do that again, well, I could absolutely do it again, again, again. Number two, success, well, reminds us of what we're capable of. There was a point when I considered shutting down one of my ventures. The challenges were piling up. Technical failures, even though I'm an engineer, missed deadlines, and dwindling motivation. But I paused and reminded myself of a key moment from the past. I had once launched a community tech event with over 100 attendees. Another, let's say, around 2 weeks or so under that, without any formal teams. That success came from my ability to think creatively and take bold action, just like you all can do. That memory refueled me and reminded me that capabilities I needed were already within me. I had faced unknowns before, and I turned them into something impactful. Revisiting those accomplishments reframed my self-doubt and helped me move forward with a sense of control, not fear. Remember, fear is just false evidence appearing real. We're often more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. Our past definitely proves it. So take a look at your past. Number three, victories fuel resilience during challenges, and do they ever? During the pandemic, like many others, I faced personal and professional setbacks that tested my limits and really pushed my resolve. I remembered a challenging time much earlier when I had to rebuild a client's network from scratch after a cyber attack. That situation demanded long hours, high stress, and unwavering focus, but I got through it. And more importantly, the client stayed loyal because of how I handled the adversity. That experience served as a mental anchor during the pandemic. I remembered myself that I'd faced overwhelming moments before and came out stronger. Victories don't just decorate our past, guys. They help us push through the present with resilience. They whisper, you overcome worse, keep going. Past achievements inspire present courage. Number 4. There was a time I was invited to speak at a major conference, and I felt completely, unworthy. The room would be filled with seasoned professionals, and my nerves were through the roof. Not that I wasn't a great speaker, but this was a little bit stressful. But I thought back to my first ever talk and my first podcast that I was a guest on, where I hit record despite being unsure, inexperienced, and slightly terrified. I proceeded. I reminded myself that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking action in spite of it. Let me say that again. I reminded myself that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking action in spite of it. The courage I had shown in smaller moments gave me the bravery I needed to step onto that bigger stage. And guess what? The talk was an amazing success. Not because I was fearless, but because I chose to lean on my past achievements to help boost or push me through. Number 5, memory of triumphs reinforces self-belief. I remember trying to land a major client contract. I was pitching against several competitors with more experience and bigger teams. Doubts started to creep in. Then I paused and remembered how I had previously won over a skeptical board for a technical integration project by simply staying authentic and passionate. That win had surprised even me at the time. Recalling that moment helped me believe in myself. It reminded me that what I bring to the table matters. Our self-belief often weakens in silence, but it strengthens in the echo of our past victories. I didn't just hope I could win the client. I believed it because I had done it before in a different form. That's important. Belief, as you know, is my key mantra for everything that I do. Number 6, wins provide proof that obstacles can be overcome. One of the biggest hurdles I ever faced was launching a multi-location IT support system for a client who had extremely tight deadlines and high expectations. Halfway through, nothing seemed to be going as planned. But I thought back to a time when I had managed a similar rollout, a bay, maybe a little smaller, that also seemed impossible at first. That win reminded me that success wasn't about perfection. It was about progress and persistence. It helped me push through and eventually deliver a system that exceeded expectations. Wins aren't just celebrations, guys. They are evidence that obstacles can be conquered with the right mindset and effort put forth. Number 7, celebrating past success. This recharges your motivation. After a long stretch of intense work, I found myself completely drained. The daily routine started to feel like a grind, and I felt disconnected from why I started my business in the first place. So I did something simple. I looked at photos from our 10th anniversary celebration, where we honored long-standing clients and team members. See, that celebration reminded me of the impact we made over the years and reignited the fire in me. We often skip over our wins or fast forward or rewind past them, thinking we have to immediately move to the next thing. But pausing to celebrate reminds us, why we do what we do and renews the motivation that can carry us through the next season. Number 8, guys. Victories serve as a foundation for future growth. In growing my podcast network, which many of you have been with me for years, there were times I questioned whether I had the vision or the stamina to scale it in the way that I had wanted. But I look back at how I had successfully grown my tech company from one client to dozens over the years. I realized each win taught me how to adapt, build systems, and evolve. Every small victory that I've had and ever will have is a seed planted, which will always support something much bigger. Growth doesn't start from scratch, guys. It starts from the roots we've already planted in the ground. Past victories give us not just inspiration, but a foundation to stand on and build even more. When we think about a house, or we think about a building, a commercial one, and we think about how that building can tower so high, it's only because of the planning and the strong, solid foundation. You're not going to build a multi-skyscraper building on spread footings, okay? You're not going to just throw a building up like that in just a couple days. That requires days of engineering and planning and calculations to make sure that you have something solid. Because if you build upon something solid, it will last. If you build upon something that will collapse, well, that means everything you have will just basically break. I bring this to your attention because my dad and I, we had started a construction company for a few years to build a few homes. My grandmother's, our home, and then our summer home. And, we had gotten permission to build our home on what they call spread footings in South Jersey. And so we looked at what it was going to cost to build, and we looked at, the fact that we're in this element of, wind and, rain, and we're right by the water. It didn't seem like it was a smart move, even though the town said we were okay to build. We knew that if we put our money into that, and let's say it was to, not be able to stand the wind or the rain or the tides, our structure would be gone and we have to start all over again. So we decided to not rush, but do something that many people don't because it was costly. And that was to engineer the home to be supported by pilings. So pilings get driven deep down. They're also used for bulkheads and things like that. And we decided to do this and then brace the house on the pilings and build around it. And that gave us a very, very strong structure that I have to tell you is still standing today. So when you build something solid, everything just helps support it and it lasts. Number 9, achievements remind us of the tools we already have. When working on a community development initiative, I was overwhelmed by the logistics and uncertain where to begin. But then I remembered a time when I managed a complex technology rollout across these locations. It was similar in the scale of coordination. I had done it successfully before. This project just had come to a head just the other day. I spent 2 weeks working on it. My marketing company and I that I own, we came up with a game wheel that we purchased. We came up with like 14 different prizes, and some were labeled by us by being printed. Others were just labels we stuck on them. There was a lot of time and effort that went into that wheel campaign. When you spun, every spin was a win. The other thing we made sure was that everybody that walked away from our table had not only won something, but had a piece of our brand and was able to scan a QR code and go back to our website and learn more about us. See, things like that take planning. I think so many people are in a rush to get things done that they forget a plan is often what can lead to success or failure. What do they always say? If you fail to plan with no plan, you will fail. So failing to plan is planning to fail. So make sure that you always plan. Reflecting on that reminded me of the tools I had used. Planning, frameworks, delegation school tools, and skills, time blocking. I didn't need to reinvent myself. I just had to remember what already worked in the past for me and my teams. Achievements are like a toolbox. The tools are, already, I should say, there. We just need to open the lid and, revisit them. Number 10, past success stories guide our current mindset. Years ago, I mentored a young entrepreneur who was stuck in a negative loop, doubting his every move. I asked him to share a time when he felt proud of something he accomplished. As he told the story, I watched his posture change. His eyes perk up, him smile. That one memory reframed how he saw himself, not as someone failing, but as someone capable of anything. That moment reminded me how powerful our stories are. When I feel lost or stuck, I replay the success stories from my own journey. They don't just inspire, they redirect our mindset toward action, belief, and progress. We move forward differently. We remember we've already walked through tough roads before. One of my tough roads was becoming an Eagle Scout. At the time, I thought I was never going to be an Eagle. My parents did push me, but I had to do the work. And earning all those merit badges and making the choice to go to summer camp, it wasn't easy. But to this day, I've got to tell you, I'm an Eagle, and no one can ever take that away from me. And I've got that, let's say, well-rounded life experience that many people would kill for. So I think when we've got lemons at us and we're trying to make it into lemonade, let's think about all the stuff we've done and the stuff we've accomplished up to today. Something new I started doing not too long ago is I bought a little journal book, a nice little book with a hardcover. And every night, you know what I do? I write down my dreams. Then when I get up, a few hours after I get up, I write them down immediately because I don't want to forget them. So in the middle of the night, I might wake up and write the night and write the dream. Then later on, I'll write meaning after I've done a research online to find out what that means. And then I start to realize, okay, so that's what my waking life is telling right now. This is what I need to change. This is what I need to focus on. And a lot of times it's more belief. It's change in other directions. See, I think some people are afraid to dream. Some people are afraid to try new things because, well, what if I fail? Well, what if you succeed? You know, some people are fearing not failure, but they fear success. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I'll catch you guys real soon. And remember, just think about those past stories. You'll get the fuel you need to get through whatever it is you're trying to get through. Take care, everyone.